During the day, one of Harold's many jobs is to scan the ground and look for possible hazards. That means not only the standard gauge line, but also the narrow gauge lines. Oh look, it's Duke! Okay, so wait a minute. If Duke and Harold are here together, then we must be finally back in the current time. I swear, these stories are all over the place now. Hopefully we are staying here. Harold wasn't, though. He was going back to base.
Then Harold noticed something. A sturdy diesel was coming round the mountain. Harold flew lower for a closer inspection. I'm Harold. Who are you? I'm Rusty.
Did anyone catch that small tidbit of a character motif there? That was actually a really cute theme. According to Rusty, Top Hat had sent him to help the other narrow gauge engines. However, Rusty was in no mood to chit-chat, which is odd because this time Harold didn't come across snooty at all. I wonder why he felt that way. Anyway, both Peter Sam and Sir Handel were happy to have Rusty come on board.
The cars didn't like Sir Handel and wanted to play tricks on him. Now, if you were ill, you couldn't shunt cars, could you? Good idea, replied Sir Handel.
Hold up. Did Gordon learn anything from the Trust Thomas episode a season before? He made this exact recommendation to James, and look what happened to Thomas with his trucks. I don't like where this is going. Speaking of which, get a load of those narrow gauge trucks. We'll see what kind of goofball mischief these little box crates will cause. Another thing to point out is notice nobody was against Rusty coming to the narrow gauge line. I guess the reputation of bad diesels never worked its way over there. Rusty is treated just like every other engine, and that's a good thing. Unlike Sir Handel, who wasn't being good.
I don't feel well, he groaned. There wasn't time to examine him, so some of his cars were coupled behind Peter Sam's coaches. Rusty promised to follow with the rest.
And he's an honest and hard-working diesel, too. Aside from Boko, this diesel is definitely helping break the mold. Mavis is included too, but it took her some time to get around. Rusty is flat out unbiased about who he works with. Anyone notice, however, music has been rather absent so far? Sure, we get music at the very beginning, but not even the incidental music has come about yet. Interesting. The place of destination for the trucks was the slate quarry. There was a special device operated by gravity itself and helped load and reload the trucks.
Empty cars at the bottom of the slope are hitched to a cable. Loaded ones at the top are hitched to another. By their weight, loaded cars run down the steep slope, pulling the empty ones up.
Okay, there's our music. The bass clarinet is not sending a good message, though. One time the trucks were being loaded while Peter Sam waited at the bottom. However, the trucks at the very top could not tell if it was him. Instead, they thought it was Sir Handel. And because Sir Handel had a bad reputation with practically all the rolling stock as it was, the trucks immediately went into kamikaze mode. Why exactly they wanted to do that, I don't know. I guess they're going by the YOLO phraseology. It must be worth it to them, though.
No, no, wailed the empty cars. It's Peter Sam, but it was no use. Hurrah, hurrah, roared the cars. Peter Sam shut his eyes.
Shut his eyes? More like decided to yawn. No problem, guys, I got this. I don't know, the face just doesn't look frightened to me. It's more like a laid-back, I need to find something to do with myself today kind of face. However, that accident was pretty devastating. I'm sure the trucks themselves had enough weight behind them, but with several pounds of slate on top, the amount of driving force they gained coming down was probably huge. Thankfully, Rusty was there to help.
Peter Sam felt battered. His funnel was cracked and his boiler dented. Thank you, Rusty, he sighed and limped slowly home. I'm sorry about your accident, said Sir Handel.
Ouch, Peter Sam needs more than an apology. Sir Handel just keeps digging himself a hole because Top Hat was quickly on his case. And from that point on, Sir Handel was now being forced to do not only his own work, but Peter Sam's as well. Mainly because Peter Sam wasn't going to be doing anything anytime soon. I'm just curious how Top Hat figured out Mr. Big Handel's facade. I guess if the engineers don't find anything to be wrong, they can assume he was lying. I don't know, that's my best hunch.
When the wreckage was cleared away, Rusty set off along the line. Splendid to see you again, whizzed Harold. I'm completing my evening's lookabout. Well done. Cheers, and keep up the good work. And the little diesel purred back home.
So now it's okay to chit-chat? Don't be a hypocrite, Rusty. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't really care what Rusty feels at this point. For all I know, he could be acting sarcastic to Harold and just mocking the way he talks. This was an intriguing episode to watch. First of all, this story did not focus on a particular engine more than any other. Yes, Rusty was the new engine to come into play, but he didn't really have the spotlight either. However, what is nice to see is Rusty being a likable diesel and the first to be of the narrow gauge size. From what it looks like, though, we are finally back in the current timeline, since Rusty, Harold, and even Duke are seen. At least that seems to have corrected itself. But we'll see how many more skips in time will come up. For the execution, it more or less copies Trust Thomas, however with different end results. Yet somehow the scenario is caused by the same engine, that being Gordon. He is either really absent-minded or truly loves to cause trouble, which honestly doesn't make him that much different from that of any other cheeky tank engine. Now as for the trucks, those suckers are something else. For one, they were pretty destructive this time around. On top of that, it was surprising to see the trucks try to stop their own from hurting an engine they apparently respected. That's the first, I think, to ever show trucks that care about making a wrong decision. For locations, there wasn't a whole lot here, but there were varying angles to view them at. Skarloey Station is seen from a few heights, as well as the slate quarry, which gives the viewer a good idea of the mechanical system that lowers and raises the trucks. Lastly, the mountain line is shown when Rusty enters and exits the episode. Music was even more surprising, because of how much was missing. Really, the beginning is where the music lies. Harold's theme is heard, and then Rusty's once they meet. Aside from that, not much else. Not even the Skarloey Railway theme, which shocked me. Next episode is Home at Last. Thanks for watching.